What's up, everyone? So I am doing your monthly forecast a little bit different this month. I'm off camera because I've been under the weather for a while, and actually these videos are extremely late, which I apologize for, but I had some Mercury retrograde technical difficulties, of course. Mercury retrograde is in my third house of communication and electronic devices, so when I recorded these videos previously, they recorded it with no audio, so I had to go back and redo everything. So once again, I apologize for the delay in these. And once again, don't forget to look at the videos for every sign of yours, your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And also, I'm still having a sale through the end of December on all of my readings. Go to my website, which is indigomoon.astrology.com, and there's also a link below to that website, and there should be one on the little I button up above as well, to where you can go order a discounted reading. That's only a temporary discounted price, like I said, through the end of December. And in January, my rates will go up, so take advantage of that sale now, especially if you would like to buy a gift for a loved one, the gift of a reading of their astrology chart. It makes an excellent gift. And also, if you would like a 2017 personal forecast for yourself, those are selling right now too, as well as a 6-month forecast for the first 6 months of 2017. So once again, go to my website, indigomoonastrology.com, and stay tuned for your December 2016 forecast. All right, my fellow bulls, so my little cute board is back again. This time I have a little better lighting and camera equipment so you can see everything much clearer than last month. So I hope, once again, I apologize for these being so late. As I explained before, I recorded these before, but there happened to be no audio when I went to edit, so doing them all over again. So thanks for your patience, guys. Hope it's a great month for you. So let's get started. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the first planetary change that happened this month, which is Mercury moving into the sign of Capricorn. So Mercury is our communication. It is how we type, text, write, email, all that good stuff. It's our logical, rational thinking processes. Okay, so Mercury moved into Capricorn on the 3rd of the month. And this for Taurus is our 9th house. The 9th house is all about our goals that we want to achieve, the really high goals, okay? The ones that we have a sense of optimism, like I know I can achieve this, I really want to achieve this. That's the 9th house. So that's why it's associated with higher education as well, like higher achievement. And it's also associated with travel, with seeing the world from like a really broad view, other than just like you're in a little bubble, like you see the world as yours. That's the 9th house. So that's how your thinking processes are going to be this month, Taurus. You may be wanting to make travel arrangements, travel plans, maybe even to go somewhere you've never gone before. Like I'm a Taurus sun, and so this applies to me too. And I was just talking to the hubby today, like, you know what, let's plan like a really bomb, like European trip somewhere like Greece, like somewhere we've never been. That's like, even if the trip is 2 years from now, I don't even care, man. Let's just plan something. Like I'm just feeling so adventurous. So you may be thinking a lot about travel, okay, making plans, or it's just on your mind, something that you're daydreaming about is getting away. The thing I would say be mindful of though is the negative side of the 9th house, which is that the grass is always greener syndrome. Like, oh, the grass is greener elsewhere. Oh, I'm not happy where I'm at. I'm sure, somewhere else it might be a lot better. I mean, that may be true, which is why the 9th house rules going after things that you really want and that you desire with confidence. But I mean, make sure that they're realistic and that you're not just leaping before you look. Mercury went into shadow period. I mean, we started December with Mercury being in shadow, okay? So that means that Mercury's been slowing down, preparing to go retrograde, which it will do on the 19th. Be retrograde, pretty much in the retrograde and shadow period all through December and into January. So what that means is we're going back. We may be rethinking our education. maybe some of us didn't finish school and want to go back. We're thinking about going back to school, completing that degree. Or maybe we've never been to school and we're thinking about starting school, But I would say, because Mercury's in shadow and Mercury's in retrograde this month, to make sure you read all the fine print and you have a full understanding of everything that you're trying to do and everything that you're trying to achieve. All right. Now, as always with Mercury retrograde, make sure you back up all of your devices, your phone, tablet, computer, all that stuff, your laptop, everything. Back everything up. Make sure you have virus protection. Make sure you have screen protectors, cases, all that stuff. And that goes for your vehicles too, because Mercury rules your short distance travels. Okay, that means by car, bike, public transportation. There may be some issues with that. May have already been happening for some people. So that's generally Mercury retrograde. But yeah, Capricorn on the 3rd, it moved there. It'd be there the whole entire month. Now Venus, which is our ruling planet, the ruling planet of Taurus, moved into Aquarius on the 8th of December. So Venus rules how we enjoy the human experience as a physical being, how we enjoy the 5 senses being pleased, how we enjoy relationships with other people. So that's Venus. And wherever our ruling planet Venus moves, as far as a sign or a house, we feel that even more intensely than other signs. So Venus in Aquarius, this is actually our 10th house of career, Taurus. So Venus is a very benefic, or beneficial energy, very positive energy pretty much. So with her being in our career house, she's giving us a sweeter reputation, hopefully. Hopefully she's working some magic there. She hasn't really been doing that for me so far, but hey, we're still just a little bit into this Venus transit. She'll be there the whole month of December. Also, Tauruses, if you're trying to find a new job, a new career, Venus being in your 10th house of career will help you to be seen in a more positive light by prospective employers, by people that you're trying to network with to gain more advancement within the career that you already have, or what have you. Just seen in a more positive light publicly or within career. If you're on social media, people may be giving you more compliments and things like that. So that's a very sweet energy for us. Now, remember, Venus is our ruling planet. The 10th house is a house of the boss, okay, the CEO. So be mindful, Tauruses, to not be too bossy this month, all right? If you're not in a position of authority to where you can boss people around and give them demands and commands, watch yourself, okay? You might be a little bit crazy and act like a drill sergeant. If you are a drill sergeant, though, great month for you guys, okay? Now, more Aquarius energy. Mars will be in Aquarius until the 20th in our 10th house of career. Now, with Mars ruling action and drive and aggression, Tauruses, this is more energy that can make us more bossy and want to take charge and dive headfirst into being an authority figure. If you're not in a position for that, once again, be very careful, especially with butting heads with authority, because Mars is aggressive, Aquarius is rebellious. The 10th house rules authority. So you could be asserting more authority, or, just feeling like you don't want to be bossed around by anybody in a position of power. So that means bosses. So if you're a Taurus, it's just a regular old worker, a service worker or something. You're not in a high position. You could be butting heads with bosses this month. This has already been showing up for me in my work, or they could be butting heads with you and challenging you and looking at you like with, one Uncle Ruckus eye. If you ever watch the Boondocks, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, I mean, one eye kind of half shut, the other one popped wide open, looking at you crazy, like, oh, you're trying to challenge us, when really you're like, I'm just sitting here doing my work, boss. Why are you picking on me? So that's a couple things that could be happening for us with Mars and Aquarius in our 10th house. So on the 14th, we will have a full moon in the sign of Gemini. So the full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs, and they bring things to a breaking point to where a decision has to be made. Like, you know what? I can't take this ish anymore, okay? And then full moons are already very emotionally charged because the moon rules our emotions. So that's why people get a little crazy, and then they come to a point where they're like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. And they just make some sort of change, or maybe they may act out or something like that. But it depends on what area of your chart the full moon lands in, as far as what area of life you're going to be acting this way and making a decision. So the full moon will be in the sign of Gemini. And for us Tauruses, that's our second house of career. Okay, so that means the sun is in one sign, and the moon is in one sign, and the sun is in another sign. So the sun will be in Sag in our 8th house. And then the moon is here in Gemini in our 2nd house. So the 2nd house is the money that we earn from our own sources of income, like a job. The 8th house is income that we may share with a partner. For example, if you're married or you're coupled with someone that you pay bills with, or even if you're in a business partnership with somebody and you guys join the finances together, or you share the responsibility of finances, that's also the 8th house. The 8th house is also money that you get from the government. It's also insurance and taxes and stuff like that. So a final decision being made towards money in general for us Tauruses. So it can be that maybe you make a decision to change jobs that may affect your income, and then here's your partnership, and you guys need to discuss something and really come to a decision as far as income. And I know me as a Taurus, that's what I'm trying to do in my life with my better half. We are trying to make changes in career that can positively affect our income. So fingers crossed for the full moon bringing that to us. And a lot of other Tauruses could be going through that as well. So that is the full moon on the 14th. Now on the 20th is when Mars moves from Aquarius in our bossy, challenging authority 10th house, and it moves into Pisces, which is our 11th house of friendships and groups. So this is where your action and drive is going to be. It's going to be towards here. It's going to be towards friends and groups of people and networking with others. Now, a couple of things I would warn you of with Mars being in the 11th house is Mars is assertive. The 11th house is groups, including social media, okay? Social media groups. So try not to be too bossy and pushy with people on social media to where you get into fights with them. Now, Pisces energy is not the energy of the fighter, okay? Like Michael Jackson is a moon and rising in Pisces. And what did he say on The Girl Is Mine? I'm a lover, not a fighter. So that's the energy of Pisces. It's a lover, not a fighter, okay? So normally that's the energy of Pisces. But with this being Mars in your 11th house, specifically for Tauruses, be careful on social media. Don't start fights. Don't start arguments. Or you may just attract aggressiveness to you from others. So Mars will meet with Neptune on the 31st, which is New Year's Eve in in the Western world mainly. So Mars and Neptune together is an energy that can cause people to have their action and their drive be distorted, like their direction is distorted. I know a lot of people drink on New Year's Eve. They want to party. They want to quote unquote turn up, like the young people say. But I would be very careful, just for everybody in general. Mars and Neptune, people could be doing some stupid things, like really like dumb actions without thinking. So that's for every sign, but Tauruses, this is amongst groups of friends for you. So just be mindful of that on New Year's Eve. So now jumping back, the sun on the 21st moves from Sagittarius in your 8th house to Capricorn in your 9th house. Hanging out with Mercury, hanging out with Pluto, okay? So the sun and Mercury together in your 9th house, that is more clarity towards what do you want to do with your life? What's the next big goal you want to achieve? What's your direction? Do you want to further your education? Do you want to travel the world? What do you want to do? Since the sun is like a huge star that's like so bright, and it brings brightness and clarity pretty much to that area of life where it's transiting. So for us, that is the 9th house. Now, on the 25th of the month, there is an aspect that affects us all, but let me explain how it affects Tauruses directly. Saturn, which is the planet of discipline and hard work and structure and doing things step by step, is going to make a positive aspect, which is called a trine, right here, to Uranus and Aries in our 12th house. Okay, so that's the 8th and the 12th. Those are very I hate using the word psychic because people, when I tend to say psychic, I feel like they think I'm saying like, ooh, some kooky person in front of a crystal ball with like wild hair or a turban, okay? That's trying to scam you out of your money. But psychic really means very intuitive, very, very intuitive, very insightful. You can see ahead, you have dreams, you have just, the unseen world is giving you messages. And I know that scares some people and they think it's evil, but really, it's not always that way. So, very intuitive energy. And this aspect is very positive. So, there can be some positive insights that are given to you through dreams, okay, around the end of the month. So, be very, very mindful of that. There can be a breakthrough that happens with money that you receive from a partner or from another source. So maybe a partner gets a better job that, enhances you guys' income together, or it can be just a change to where they get a lower income and you guys have to work harder and it's a sudden change. Okay, you got to work harder together to achieve financial goals together. Now, the next one is on the 27th. Jupiter, which is in Libra in your sixth house of work, will make an opposition to Uranus and Aries in your 12th house of how you retreat away from the world and relaxation and intuition and insight. Okay, so there's an opposition is a challenge, but it can bring a breakthrough, especially because Uranus is involved. He's the guy who throws lightning bolts down on you when things get too stagnant and too redundant. He shakes things up. So there could be something shaken up for you in your work environment. But because Jupiter is a positive energy, it can be positive. Jupiter is expansive. It can bring a positive, sudden opportunity to you towards the end of the month. And then on the 29th, Uranus goes direct in your 12th house, giving you even more powerful insights, especially through your dreams. Now, lastly, on the 29th, there is a new moon in the sign of Capricorn, which is our 9th house. Okay, so there's a new beginning with education or travel or goals. So with Mercury being retrograde there, remember, read all the fine print, make sure you have a clear understanding of things, and that if it's something brand new, that you be careful with signing contracts and stuff like that, okay? But can be a positive new beginning with making some travel plans or furthering your education and making a decision in that area. So that was it, Taurus. I apologize for the delay once again. I know I sound a little under the weather because I am, but I'm a stubborn Taurus. You know how we are. If we've got work to do, we will achieve it no matter what. So I appreciate your patience, and I hope you guys have a great month.